All right. So these guys contacted me and said, we'd really like you to come up and we want to talk about your program at Kent State. We want you to talk about what's going on at other colleges, post-secondary programs in the state. We want you to talk about helping us understand what we need to know to better transition our students into adult life. And then we want you to talk about the differences between IDEA and ADA. And oh, by the way, you only have an hour to do it. Impossible. In fact, I was jokingly thinking on my way up today that I thought, man, I wish we had popcorn and pajamas and we could just settle in for the night, because that's how much time it takes. I actually do a 4-hour workshop. It'll be the first Saturday in October from 8:30 to 12:30. A little commercial. If you really want to know all the details of the CCS program, how we support the students, what courses look like, you need to come to that one, because I can't get into that tonight, and we really spend a lot of time. So just for me to get a little bit of a feel, parents, I recognize a few. Parents, okay, majority. Service providers, okay. Teachers, yay teacher. I give a disclaimer right up front. I speak very directly. I know no other way how to do it. I am not going to talk, and a lot of things I'm going to talk about, I am not pointing fingers. I am just saying, here's the need. Here's what we're seeing. I have the great opportunity of having students ages 18 to 26. I'm seeing the end product after they've gone through with parents and teachers, and I can speak very much on what's still missing. So I don't know how to I'm not wishing to offend, I'm not pointing fingers, it's just how can we do better to work ourselves out of a job with our students. Couple of resources. This is one. Anytime that we were working with a student in the program and I see, oh man, I wish they could have started earlier on developing this skill so that by the time they come to me and the faculty that work with me, by the time, if they could have already had this, how much further could we have taken them? So there's no rhyme or reason to this. I just keep throwing them up there. Tonight, I hope to give you some resources that you will have hundreds of IEP goals and things to be considering to help your student get ready for adult life. I will talk a lot about a college program because that's what I do. But take college out of it, and every time I say college, just you insert adult life, because that's what we're all doing is getting ready for adult life. There's another resource that's not on here, but it's a resource of the colleges in Ohio that have post-secondary programs, and it's kind of a profile of each college. So that's another resource if you would please send out. This is another resource for you as parents, as teachers, as service providers. If you want to know how to start developing some of these skills, if you want to know how to start getting your student, and that's what I'm really talking about here. It's not about you telling your student what they can or cannot do, or what they are good at, or what they need to consider for their areas of difficulty. It's how much can we pass on to them? It's them. It's their life. How much can we pass on to them? So here's kind of a neat thing, and again, this is always morphing, because as we become enlightened, oh, here's another area, we'll throw it on here. So these are constantly morphing. Maybe you're going to have some you can share with me that I can add on there also. But for instance, helping a student understand for themselves, and this is what I see in our program. Students come to me and they'll say, well, I'm really good at this. And well, I'm like, how do you know that? Because everybody tells me that. We stop right there and say, the next 4 years is to help you learn to be able to say, I know what I'm good at. I know what I prefer. I know what I'm interested in, and I also understand my disability. Parents, teachers, we need to start using that D word, because I'll tell you why. When your student leaves high school and moves into the adult world, and they start working with adult service providers or employers, if you can't speak to those areas that are difficult for you, and if you can't say, yes, I do have a disability, but here's how I can have the accommodations and I'll still be one of your best employees. We have to use that D word. I've had students in the program that have come and their parents said, I've never told them they have a disability. Please don't tell them. And I said, then don't bring them here. Because that's the way that we empower. And we know the areas, when we know what we are good at, our strengths, but if we don't understand those areas that are difficult for us, we can never make the most out of our strengths. We must know our whole package. If you want, so emerging starts at home. Parents, are you listening and providing opportunities for your student to explore and become aware of their spins? It's where it starts. And then we know that it's making progress is because the student is starting to see, we're starting to see things in the schools, and we're starting to see them be having opportunities to, again, explore for themselves. This is what I know. And then you know when you've achieved it. There's all kinds of ideas there if you're wanting to develop problem-solving skills, goal-setting skills, those kinds of things, self-determination, all kinds of ideas. Turn these into goal statements.